So it's your fifth book.
Fifth
Uh,
book, fifth out of 10. Yes.
why write this book and why now?
This book is to address the language barrier, the friction, the conflict between entrepreneurs and financial professionals.
Hmm.
Feedback that I've always heard is that entrepreneurs they don't get along well with their financial professionals. They don't relate. They feel like they're being restricted and restrained. They're not understood. And so I believe entrepreneurs, and we can all probably agree, are wired differently. And therefore, money advice should also be wired differently for these people. And so that there's a major disconnect. And what I wanted to highlight in this book were the advantages for entrepreneurs that you can really capture when you get financial advice from people who think like you, who have that same DNA, not to color within the lines or not to necessarily just go the traditional worn path that everyone else is going. So I'm very excited about this book. It is specifically for entrepreneurs.
So it's interesting because a lot of financial brand leaders listen to this podcast. So I think there's a lot that they can learn
Yeah,
from this. I think too, when we think about financial brands, that includes banks, credit unions, fintech, financial advisors.
right.
Let's talk about the mindset of an entrepreneur. You talk about this idea of being wired differently. What do you mean? How are entrepreneurs wired differently?
Well, I'll give you an example. I remember a spouse asking her husband, an entrepreneur, how much money are we going to make next year? And let's determine how much money we're going to save because of how much we're going to make. And his answer was not satisfying because he didn't really know. He's like, we got three businesses. I hope we can do this much business in the first one. In the second business, we have to reinvest some capital. We're doing some things and we're expanding the team. And the third one, I'm really excited about a new product we're bringing to market. And it's just so untraditional, like just not even having a clue how much money you're going to bring in the next year. Whereas most people could look at their paycheck and say, this is how much I get in my paycheck every 2 weeks. This is how much is deposited, and this is how much I'm going to save for my retirement plan and my other investment accounts or savings accounts. And it's very linear. It's a lot more predictable.
Hmm.
And entrepreneurs' lives, they're just used to the uncertainty, the unsteadiness, the disruption, the unexpected things that happen. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And so inside that brain, you're coming up with new ideas, and you could come up with a new idea that completely changes the direction of your business or your future.